Hello, guys. It's Matt Schaefer. Um, I want to tell you a little bit about myself, about my life. I was um, I was born in Muskegon, Michigan. I was 7 months old. We moved to Colorado Springs, family and I. And I grew up in a very I don't want to say very bad, because I love my dad, and my dad showed me a lot in life. I respect my dad. He had a whole heart like mine. He felt deep. But I ended up being a cycle breaker. But anyways, what I'm getting at is we moved to Colorado Springs, and I actually enjoyed my life out there. Me and my dad and the fam, sometimes we'd all go mountain hiking in the Rockies. We lived about 45 minutes away from the Rockies, and every weekend we'd do our mountain hike. And I would always collect these crystals, minerals, like aquamarine, quartz, just all kinds of crystals. I had a bunch of them. And anyways, that was one of my little collections. But my dad taught me a lot about nature, and I was always curious about everything. I'm a Gemini, so I guess that's part of my zodiac. But anyways, I didn't know whatever, but I uh, I grew up kind of shitty. I mean, my whole life. I always thought I had a curse. Come to find out, it's a little different. But anyway, I lived in Colorado Springs with my family till I was 7. Then we moved back to Muskegon, Michigan, because my mom got homesick and wanted to come back home. And then my life began. Life is a roller coaster, man. But anyways, I was always the different kid. I was the kid, like one of our family pictures we got. I'm in farmer jeans and picking my nose. A family picture. They kept it. But anyways, I was that kind of kid, and I didn't care about school. I got my ass whooped a lot in school, man. I got hit with a wooden ruler a lot when I was in Colorado. It was still they could do that. Then they changed the law. I remember when they changed the law where they had to call your parents before they, you know what I mean? And my dad would be like, "Yep, do it. Teach them a lesson." You know what I mean? But whatever. So yeah, that happened a lot. And I flunked kindergarten out of all classes. How do you flunk kindergarten? And I didn't know that. I didn't remember that till years later. But I asked my dad. I said, "Why did I flunk kindergarten?" He's like, "Well, because you were born with hearing loss and you had a speech problem." And I still do. I a lot. You'll hear that in my language. But I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." He said I always had a like a H in the beginning of my words. Some of my words, like hellbow, I would say things different. But I'm like, whatever. I'm different anyway. But I didn't have very many friends. I mean, as a matter of fact, I only had one friend really in my childhood growing up. I did not like to be around a lot of energy. I couldn't be around a lot of energy because it would just be overwhelming. Too much energy is overwhelming. It's still like that this day. I can handle it a little better, because it's hard to explain, but I calculate every single thing. people are like, you shouldn't study people. I don't study people. It comes naturally. It really does. Like, no matter what I'm doing, somebody walks. I mean, you know, I've studied patterns and the way people speak and why they're speaking it and how, and I lock it all in, man. I mean, it's weird, but growing up was a training ground for me, but not school. I didn't even finish school because I hated school because they were trying to, if this makes sense, they were forcing me to learn, and I just didn't care for that. I wanted to learn naturally, like organically, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, but in church, even as a kid, I knew that it was something wasn't right because I always had questions. And if it was truth, they wouldn't you wouldn't need to have questions, right? I mean, you can have questions if you don't know an answer, but what I mean is, like, if it's truth, you would already know the answer. Because, like, there's so much fairy tale in it that you question it. Like Santa Claus. Santa Claus ain't real. When I was a kid, I thought it was real. But when I get older, I'm like, how's this badass gonna go through a chimney, man? You know what I'm saying? The Bible's kind of the same way, but it's in more of a spiritual sense. You gotta read between the lines, man. I mean, because the Bible has very beautiful stories. I mean, I love the stories. But you gotta read between the lines. You gotta think spiritually. Like the snake with Adam and Eve. The snake was actually the voice in your head. The voice like, eat that apple. No, I can't. I was told not to. Just do it. It's so sweet. You know what I mean? And they're like, fuck. They sinned because they were told not to. What was going on? They were being taught how to be controlled. Just like the Bible. Just like school. Being taught how to be controlled. Anyways, yeah. So I didn't like all that. So I was the kid. I was the weird kid because when everybody was taught, I questioned it. And if I couldn't get the answer, bet your ass I'm gonna find it. And I did. It took up until I was 47 when my life really took a shit. I'm 48 now, almost 49. But I didn't know rock bottom had a basement until I was 47. I lived rock bottom all my life. So that was a very powerful awakening for me. And that's why all my awakenings through my pain. And I've dealt with a lot of pain in my life, man. I've had heartbreaks that would break others, man. But I'm still here wholeheartedly. I still love deep. I still care deep. I even carried other people's problems, man. I shouldn't have been doing it. But I did because I feel that way. I feel people's pain. I understand them before they even speak a word. I'm a walking lie detector. You cannot tell me a lie. You might as well not even bother. I'll bust your ass on it. And and when people walk by me, they hesitate. The people who know me can feel me. When I walk into a room, room gets quiet. Like, oh, that's here. I'm like, what the fuck? The hell's wrong with me? I didn't even know this. I didn't even know this shit. Up until now. But now that I know I have this, I'm not a hateful person, man. Just recently, just last summer was so bad for me. I nearly ended my life 4 times, man. And nearly had my life unalived a few times. I've been shot at. Didn't even know why, man. What the fuck? And it's just weird, man, because I mean, I was in. Now I know I was in a cult. I didn't even know I was in, man. I was in that bitch going to church. I'm talking about church. This whole community, right? Like, yeah, bro. It's just crazy shit, man. And then I had my last love. Boy, she shattered me, man. She shattered me. She's been fucking with my sister's boyfriend. And I'm like, what the fuck? The whole time I was with her, and I knew this shit though, but they talked me like, they shrunk me down so deep, like I questioned myself, like, man, why am I thinking like this, man? Maybe she's telling the truth, man, you know? And I even warned my sister, oh my god, it's all in your head. Oh, they fell in my trap just a couple months ago, or just a couple weeks ago. They fell in my trap because I knew. After I woke up, man, I started seeing patterns and shit. I started visualizing shit. So I stayed a couple feet ahead, man. I go to jail and I get out of jail and she wants to see me out, isn't it? And I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah, I want to see you too. But I never seen her. It's been months, you know. Well, I didn't want to see her really. I just needed my sister to wake up. So I set it all up, man. They fucked themselves up, bro. Bam! It finally happened, man. There he was at her house. That's the spiritual eyes, boy. You can't fuck with that. Spiritual eyes beat cameras and all, man. You don't need cameras. You just gotta know what you're doing. I'm not gonna go into details, but yeah, that's pretty fucked up, man. They've been fucking around the whole time. Oh man, I was with her for 3 years, bro. I should have known better, but I didn't even know who I was then, man. So once I figured out who I was, it's over with. But anyway, that's just one little tiny little clip of all the bad shit I've been in. I've been in long relationships, got my heart shattered, people behind my back, my own friends, doing my girl. I mean, all kinds of crazy shit because they thought I was always naive. I wasn't naive. I locked in all the fucking shit. I was just quiet. I just didn't want to. Because when I blow up, bro, man, I'll blow the fuck up. Like, boop, gone. It's over with. Everybody better start running. For real. I black the fuck out. And I know that side of me. I've had him out a couple times, you know what I mean? And it's just, he's ugly. He's ugly, man. Have every right to be like that, though. But I'll give you an example on how my life is, you know, like my nephew. He pulled a knife out at me. I'm like, boy, bam, I just knocked him out, right? I just punched his ass. I didn't give a fuck. Guess who was getting yelled at and screamed? Just take a wild girl. Me. And I asked him, I said, Why the fuck am I getting yelled at for this and he's standing right there and not even getting yelled at, like laughing in his head? They're yelling at you. When he's the one that stuck the knife out at me, man. He threatened my motherfucking life. And I didn't give a shit. I was like, man, he pulled a knife out on me again. I'm knocking his fucking ass out again. I mean, what the fuck? But tell me, does that make sense to you? Why the fuck would I get yelled at defending myself and he threatened my life? Like, for real. It'd be different if you know, we were just fist fighting and I whooped his ass. Okay, yell at me, go ahead. But he put out a knife, man. Sorry, man, but I'll punch his ass again. But anyways, you know, that's just a little part of my story. But I know I'm here to serve God, our Creator. I know God is, you know, now I know the full truth of everything. You know, God is frequency, it's energy. God is not a he or she. I said, take it as you want it, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't believe it, there's that little X button right there. Boop! You can cut me out, you know what I'm saying? But that's what God is, you know? Reincarnation, all that shit. That's all part of the cycle of life, man. We all had this gift. I ain't nobody special, man. But now I read people. I can see outcome. I get visions. I meditate hours and hours a day. And I write down all my shit in my book too, you know. And I have posts on Facebook and on YouTube, you know, of all my blueprints. I know who I am now. I remember so much now, it's not even funny. It's crazy how much I remember. I haven't even talked a glimpse of it yet. I know so much. I got all locked in. It's been locked in. I just couldn't see. It's weird because, like, like my body was an autopilot, but I was doing all these things to get me to this point, and didn't even realize it. It's so fucking weird. Like, and I have a hard time like speaking, like talking about it. I've always struggled at trying to explain everything because I'm not good with big words or anything like that, but I don't need them no big words, man. I mean, truly, you don't even need language, really, you know what I mean? But that's just me. But I mean, why do you gotta have big words when you can explain it with low words? What's your point in that, man? You think you're special because you know all these big words? You ain't special, bro. We all got the same shit, the same skills, the same everything, man. Ain't nobody special. Just more people are more higher up as far as levels up when you're remembering the correct way of life, not the manipulation and control and all that, you know, 10th grade, 11th grade. That's not the right level up. I mean, knowledge is always good, don't get me wrong. Because knowledge is key, but not for what they wanted us for. Well, for what they wanted it for. It's a brainwash system, man. Keep us stuck in a loop without us knowing. But that's all I got for right now. Check y'all later, man. I hope y'all, you know, I'm just, my videos might be a little boring right now, but I'm just trying to get you guys up there to see who I am. part of my rough life. And, all right, love y'all for real. Love y'all, man. Peace.